I think one of the things that we'll get into over the next year, coming years at 180 Degree Health, I think we're going to be continuing to go farther and farther towards this intuitive eating thing. And you know, our bodies are really intelligent. You eat a bunch of salty foods, you get thirsty. You don't get enough, you exercise really hard, you get tired. I mean, your body works and it's very intelligent, and it knows what it needs at any given moment, any given time. And I think there's a lot of circumstances where our stress hormones are elevated and we have cravings for foods like ice cream and things like that, and chocolate. And you know, the more I pay attention, the more I recount and look back at my own experiences, I think a lot of people are eating those foods and they're gaining weight and they're blaming it on eating those foods, but really the reason they wanted to eat those foods and they had those cravings and their body basically got fat in response to eating those foods was the fact of there's some other root cause, whether it was something emotional that happened or some other event. It's not necessarily the food that causes that. So I think food has been blamed for a lot when it really wasn't the root problem. I mean, there's certainly a lot of dietary things going on in the world today that are very questionable, and if you look back at history, it's obvious that changes in diet have had a huge impact on a lot of health problems that we have and face in the world today. But when you get in and you start really looking at people's individual scenarios, you know, a lot of times I really think that you know, these foods that we're eating late in the evening, if you look at somebody like a type 2 diabetic, they're almost always going to have these screwy circadian rhythms with these high cortisol levels in the evening. To be able to go to sleep, all those different kind of things, you got to shut those hormones off. And I don't think it's any coincidence that they crave sugary foods, ice cream, pastries, cookies, chips, soft drinks. That's what they're craving typically late in the evening. That's what they need to be able to fall asleep at night. So is it the diet that's causing the diabetes, or is it really the hormonal state that they're in that causes them to eat those certain foods? Well, it's really hard to distinguish the two. But you know, I've noticed if I do something like sip juice all day, well, it doesn't take too long before my body wants fat and meat and salt and things like that. So I eat those things. And then it gives me other cues. I mean, it's so funny how smart the body is when you really tap into it. And I think of a great example, a great case in point, a girl I've been seeing recently has a 5-year-old daughter. She has night terrors. She has all kinds of deals, wets the bed. And you know, her mom really looks out for her health and wants her to eat healthy, eat square meals, has her own set of ideas about health and nutrition just like everybody does, and applies it to her daughter and says, you know, finish this and eat that before you can eat this, and all that mom stuff that people do in today's day and age, and it's probably a mistake. But you know, I gave the kid a chance to just eat whatever she wanted, and she ate an ice cream cone, and then she said, I want another one. And I think normally her mom would have looked at her and been like, hell no, you can't have another ice cream cone, are you insane? But we just went with it. She ate another ice cream cone, and then she went back, and boom, she passed out. She slept through the night for the first time in a long time. She didn't wet the bed for the first time in a long time. And then she had ice cream again and again and again, and it's just been different. She's been able to sleep. And again, I think nocturia, peeing in the middle of the night, polyuria, peeing excessively, a lot of this time, you know, a lot of people have that in the evening. Or they can't sleep at night because they're up going to the bathroom all the time when they shouldn't be going to the bathroom. Hormonally, there's a way to shut your body's desire to urinate down towards the end of the day and through the night so that you can sleep through the night. And shutting down those stress hormones and things with something like ice cream, which I think is being the ultimate anti-stress food, could be the greatest way to possibly do that. That could be the ultimate health food for this kid. This is enabling her to sleep better, sleep more soundly. She doesn't have the anxiety and emotional stress of wetting the bed and all these things. So again, you can't look at certain foods and say, oh, this is good, this is bad. Ultimately, tiptoeing more in the direction of intuitive eating, being open-minded about diet and what you could possibly need. I mean, I've just had my mind humiliated many times by my body, because my body, when I'm eating certain things, I have all these health problems go away that I developed eating the diet that I thought was healthy or living the lifestyle that I thought was healthy. So our minds make a lot of mistakes. The ideas that we have about health and nutrition and things like that is fraught with error. I mean, everything I previously thought, I don't believe anymore. And I think a lot of us have all gone through that process, going from one phase to another, to one guru to another, to buying into the mainstream, to turning on the mainstream. I mean, we've all gone through all these phases, but ultimately most of the things that we believed ended up being wrong. And who's to say that what we believe now might not just end up being totally wrong in the future as well. So eating intuitively, listening to your body, tapping into that as a higher source of intelligence instead of relying upon these little brains that we have is probably a better strategy. And again, you're probably going to see me tiptoeing there. I have a dream, and that is guiding 180 degree health more and more, steering that ship more and more towards intuitive eating, because I've seen all these things take place recently, and I've seen people have all the health improvements that I'm hoping to get people on the program that I've developed, get that without really being obsessed about quality of food or any of that. I'm just relaxing, eating things that they like, and boom, works just the same as when they're eating health food. So again, take that into consideration, be open-minded, and think about that kind of thing. So anyways, that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that before we move on. Intuitive eating. I hope to get into it.